What the heck is up, you guys? It's your boy Ace, aka Animated Heroes, here back with another action figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at none other than the super long overdue Mezco 1989 Batman. This is a figure we should have had a long time ago, but it's finally here, and I've heard a lot of good things about it. Now, I've been shying away from reviews just so I can break this figure down myself. This is one I've been really looking forward to dissecting, so let's go ahead and get right into it, starting off with the sexy packaging. Now, for the sexy packaging, as you guys can see, it's pretty much the cover of the 1989 Batman movie with, of course, a couple of logos and things on there. You have the Batman logo right there, 1/12 collective pose, play, and display, Mezco's trademark or whatever. Batman DC, the Batman logo right there, Mezco toys right there, 1/12 at the top. Nothing much at the bottom that really matters. Same thing on this side. And then, of course, on the back, you've got a couple images of the figure looking really nice. Crazy to think that these images came out 3 years ago. I've heard people say that there are major differences between these images and what the figure came out to be. Honestly, from what I've seen, they all look the same, but that doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and bust this figure out because this is one, like I said, I've been waiting for, just like you guys have. Now, if you guys have been following my channel, then you already know I stopped collecting Mezco figures quite some time ago. This is one that I had on pre-order from my boy Sculpt Toys. I also got an extra from Empire Toy Shop. Big shout out to those two. They are both based out of New Jersey. Sculpt is no longer doing action figure selling. He's out of the business. But if you are looking to pick up this guy, I think Empire Toy Shop still has one more. But anyway, back to the figure, man. Straight out of the packaging, I gotta be honest, even though I don't collect Mezco anymore, I still have an appreciation for them. I just don't really care for the way that they do business. But that's neither here nor there. Again, we are here to talk about this figure, and I gotta say, man, the head looks a little bit big on it, but I think that's accurate to the movie. So overall, this thing looks really nice. But let's stop wasting time and go ahead and take a closer look at him. Now, if I'm being honest with you guys, I will say that this figure turned out just as good as I think Mezco probably could have made it. What that means is, going with the seamless look, I don't think that they could have executed this any better because it's exactly what they said it was going to be. Maybe it differs from what we saw at Toy Fair 2-3 years ago. Maybe even differs from the promo images, as I mentioned earlier, but I think it turned out just fine. The suit does have a tad bit of that faded look to it, but under most lighting, it's still going to look black, as it's supposed to, man. I think this looks really good. I love what they did with the cowl. That literally looks like Michael Keaton, like straight up in the face. You see it. It's perfect. It's uncanny. Even from the way they did the lips down to the wrinkles on the face, I don't know any way they could have done that better. The body is a bit on the slender side, but I'm not going to say that's inaccurate because honestly, I haven't seen this movie in forever, even though I do have it. I just remember most of the time he was covered up by the cape anyway, so I can't say that that is a yay or a nay, but I can say that I do like it, man. I love what they did with the sculpt work for the boots and the gloves. You have several different blacks on here. The belt is basically perfect. The bat logo, this thing just looks nice, man. And people have been giving it a tough time, myself included, but my frustration came with the weight. The figure itself turned out to be just fine. And again, I know plenty of people have done their reviews, so I'm not going to go too crazy in detail. Let's go ahead and put him back and see how tall he stands. Now, to the top of his head, as you guys can see, he is right at about 6.5 inches. To the top of his bat ears, he's actually approaching 7 inches. Now, I don't know if Michael Keaton is tall or not. I don't Google people's heights and all of that. You guys let me know in the comments whether he's supposed to be this tall or not. It's fine with me, but again, most Mezco figures are going to be a bigger 1/12 scale anyway. So if you're planning on putting these in with SHF, Figmas, I don't know why you would do Figmas, or even Mafex, it's probably not going to fit. The most you can get out of it and make it accurate, or at least close to scale, I'd say is going to be something from Hasbro. Moving on to the articulation, this is where I think you guys are going to be pleasantly surprised. The first thing I want to show off is this head sculpt right here. Obviously, you can't turn the head or neck or anything. This is meant to say or to stay still. But what I do like is the fact that they gave him movable eyes, and that just works with you turning this little knob right here. And let's take a closer look at that. Let's see which way we can get him to look. There we go. He's kind of looking to the side now, and then we got him looking to this side right here. Batman is always watching you, so be wary of that. He sees everything. That is a factor I'm going to have a lot of fun with. Anyway, feature, I said factor. His arms go up about that much, so T-poses, cape grappling poses are going to work fine. They do come in very, very well, and I was worried when I started messing with this thing that I was kind of like pushing it with the material, but this guy moves his arms very well. He does have a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that come all the way in. He can flex and show the muscle, no problem. He does have a swivel right here at the end of his, or at the start of the forearm. He does have really good range of motion at the hands right here. I don't think there's a diaphragm joint in there, but there is a waist joint, so he can crunch forward about that much. Being the way that they did this suit, I think that is fine. And so, yeah, you get a really good crunch out of him. You don't really get much going back. Now, again, I'm kind of stretching this a bit, but it doesn't feel like it's going to rip or anything. This material is very thick on this figure. Now, he kicks forward about that much, which is also really good. He does have a swivel at the thigh. I'm not gonna do the splits any more than that, but I think that's great. That's perfect for what we have. And his head is on the little magnetized feature, so yeah, that is gonna happen. At the knees, they bend about that much, which again, that's perfect. Not really going to be able to get more than that. He does have a swivel right here at the boot, so that's good. Foot goes down about that much, up about that much, and he actually has ankle articulation. Mezco finally worked that in. They usually kind of suck at that, but here it is, man. So articulation-wise, this guy's decent, man. They really did a great job on this one. Now, when it comes to accessories, Mezco usually goes all in on about 95% of their figures, this, of course, being one of them. Now, on the original promo image, it said that he came with 3 interchangeable heads, but he actually comes with 4. I'm going to show those up close in just a second. But he also comes with a spear gun with a hook, a spear gun with a hook and wire, collapsed spear gun. He comes with a gauntlet, a time bomb, 4 different batarangs, and a batarang with wire. He comes with 8 interchangeable hands, and of course the usual Mezco base. Now, I didn't feel like showing all this stuff off, so I figured why not just put this image up here. Now, one other thing that isn't mentioned, but I gotta show you guys, is this cape. This cape is as Michael Keaton 1989 Batman movie as it gets, because this thing is incredible. This right here really allows you to feel Michael Keaton's presence from the 89 Batman movie, and they just went in. I love what they did with the bendy wire. You can really get this thing to pose, and I just love it, man. It looks really, really dang good. And kudos to Mezco. Their wired capes are usually pretty dang good. Now, taking an up-close look at the head sculpts, here is the first one that he comes with. Again, man, I really love this eye moving function. Like, this actually looks really good, man. And again, man, Batman sees you. It doesn't matter what you're doing. He has a plan to stop you, and you can see it in his eyes, yo. You can see the PTSD and everything my boy got, yo. He see you, bro. I like this a lot. But then here is the one where the eyes aren't movable, and it looks just as good. As you can see, the eyes are a tad bit smaller. He has a bit more of a serious look, but once more, those lips, man. No, I'm not just looking at some guy's lips, but it's in. You guys know what I mean, man. This is Michael Keaton's facial expressions, yo. Like, it just, you see his face so well in these head sculpts, and I like this because it just shows that Mezco really took their time with this one. Most people do not get Michael Keaton's facial features right. Or to be honest, most companies kind of lack in facial features in general. So to see Mezco do this with all 4 of these head sculpts, like, this is amazing. I love this one right here where you can see the blood and he's got more of like a serious look. This is dope, man. Mezco, we gave them a lot of flack for this figure, but you gotta give props when it's due, yo. This is just great. It's nothing less than that. And for anyone wondering what the cape can do and how well it poses, here is the answer to your question. As you guys can see, the bendy wire works all the way around. We got Batman powering up, charging his key right here, and the cape can fully blow in the wind. So those dynamic flying in poses and everything, creeping up on enemies, back grappling, whatever you want to use it for, this Batman's going to be able to do it, man. So, Mezco, this is the most I've ever complimented Mezco, but great job. I gotta tell it like it is. Great job. Now moving on to some size comparisons. I don't have a lot of Mezco stuff, or really I don't have any Mezco stuff. I sold most of it and the rest is still at my mom's house in a box. So it's just gonna be a bunch of random size comparisons. So first off, here he is standing next to an SH Figuarts Dark Knight Batman on the left. Then we have him standing next to the McFarlane The Batman to the right of him, which now I can't wait to see what Mezco does with this figure. Hopefully they kill it. And then lastly, we have him standing next to an armored Batman. This is a model kit that I got from my boy 86 Reviews that I didn't even know about. He just sent it to me, built and everything, because he knows I don't have the attention span to build something. But a big shout out to 86 for this figure, man. I need to take some more pictures of it and tag you in them. But as you guys can see, he kinda, in my opinion, looks like he is right in the middle. So scaling this guy with 6 and 7 inch figures could potentially work, just depending on what the figure is. Now, if it's McFarlane, then I mean, you never know. Some of their figures are 7 inches, and then some of them like 9.5. They do what they want to do over there at Todd McFarlane headquarters. Next up, here he is standing next to the Mafex or Metacom Toys Batman Hush Batman, which is still my favorite comic book Batman figure. We also have him standing next to, I believe, the DC Multiverse or DC Direct. Y'all tell me in the comments. Batman, I don't know. I picked this up from a convention. And then we also have him standing next to the New 52 Greg Capullo Batman, which, funny that this was the Batman figure to have back in the day, and now no one even talks about it anymore. But it still looks great, in my opinion. I would love for Mezco to tackle this suit exactly. Or actually, I'd love for Mafex to tackle this one, because it's going to pose better. Here he is standing next to a Mattel Alfred, and I believe this is, if I remember correctly, this is Val Kilmer's Alfred. I'm not entirely sure, but he's super tall. Anyway, here he is also standing next to a Mafex or Metacom Toy Joker from Batman Hush, as well as Harley Quinn. And I would really love if Mezco could give us a Joker to go with this Batman, but at this point, I don't think that's going to happen. I do believe Jack Nicholson is actually... I believe he's suffering from dementia. I hope that I'm wrong, so I don't think that we'll ever get that likeness. But man, I would love to have it. I pray for his soul. I hope he's doing okay. But these aren't going to go together. Last but not least, here he is standing next to a Marvel Legends 3-pack Daredevil and SH Figuarts Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and then the Bandai America Stranger Things Vecna or Big Vec. Now, for my final thoughts on this figure, if you guys are wondering if I think it's worth it, the answer's simple. You damn skippy. This one is definitely worth the pickup, and for multiple reasons. This is as good as it's going to get in terms of Michael Keaton's representation of Batman. It's just not going to get any better. We've already seen other companies try. NECA made their version. I'm sorry, that figure looks trash to me. The SH Figuarts version really wasn't all that good. I'm a fan of SHF, so I enjoyed it a little bit more than most people probably would. But still, overall, it was a failure, especially when compared to this right here. The only company I see possibly topping this, and it would be if they came out of the woodworks and actually made it, would be Mafex. And that being said, it doesn't mean their version would actually be better. This guy can pose. He comes with a ton of accessories. The seamless body is pretty much flawless. The look of it is flawless. It captures Michael Keaton from the movie exactly. It looks like he walked right off of the screen, and it doesn't beat that. Literally, the only complaint that I have with this figure is how long it took. Now, the wait for me was different because I didn't pay for this figure up front. A lot of you guys probably bought it directly from Mezco. A friend of mine bought it, and he told me, I'll charge you when it ships, and then Empire Toy Shop did the same thing. So I didn't pay for this figure until a few weeks ago. So I didn't drop 150 immediately and then for 3 years have to wonder where it was at or if I was even going to get it back. I never had that problem. So I can understand a lot of you guys were probably frustrated with this. But seriously, man, if you waited it out, I do think it's worth it. But yeah, Mezco, y'all got to do better in terms of communication. I know some people out there are saying, yeah, but there are other action figure companies that are doing pushbacks. Yeah, that's true. But if you're talking about Mezco, you're talking about SHF, most of the places that you order those, you don't have to pay up front. And then they have never, ever, ever pushed back a figure for 3 years, bro. 3 years is how long we waited for this. And that could cause all kinds of legal issues, but I'm not going to get into that. Overall, it's a solid figure, man. If you don't have it, I hope you can track it down if you are interested in it, because it's at least a figure that I recommend experiencing. Like, if you can get your hands on it, at least try it out. You can sell it if you don't like it and get your money back. I promise you, this figure is going to go up in the aftermarket, just like most Mezco figures do. Now, anyway, I meant for this to be a quick review, but I was having a lot of fun. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Shout out to everybody who checked it out. I'm sure you guys have already seen everybody else's. But yeah, thank you for sticking it through. If you did watch this video, I really appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That always helps me out. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I upload new content. And last but not least, follow me on everything you see listed in the description below to keep up with my activity outside of YouTube. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe wherever you are, and bye. Go get this figure.